My wife said I'm going on a date with my coworker. I warned her that walking out would change everything. She left anyway. What followed shattered her completely in ways she never saw coming. My name is Nathan. I'm 46 years old, and for the last 2 decades, I built something I thought was unshakable. A successful automotive distribution business in Phoenix that started in a rented garage and now employed 15 people. A house in Scottsdale that took years of sacrifice to afford, and what I believed was a rock-solid marriage to my wife, Lauren. We met back when I was 26, hustling to get my business off the ground with nothing but determination. She was finishing her marketing degree at ASU. We built everything together from nothing. I handled supply chain while she managed the books those first brutal years. Worked 7 days a week, lived in a cramped one-bedroom, ate ramen and canned soup, reinvested every dollar back into the company. 2 kids came along. Tyler, who's 16 now, sharp kid with a natural knack for computers. Sophie at 11, all energy and attitude, never met a thought she did not immediately share. They rounded out what looked like the perfect picture from the outside. Nice house with a pool, thriving business, family that appeared to have it all figured out. Turns out perfect is just another word for completely blind. The cracks started showing maybe 6 months back, but I wrote them off. Lauren became distant, started caring more about her appearance, hitting the gym 5 times a week when she used to go twice, new designer clothes I never saw her wear at home. Always on her phone, smiling at the screen in a way she had not smiled at me in years. I chalked it up to a midlife thing. Figured she needed space to work through whatever she was going through. Should have paid more attention. The afternoon everything imploded, started like any other Tuesday. Normal day at the warehouse, dealt with a shipment delay, reviewed quarterly numbers. Got home around 6, loosened my tie, kicked off my shoes. Found Lauren in the kitchen standing by the counter with this 1,000-yard stare out the window. "Hey," I said, giving her a kiss on the cheek. Her skin felt cold. She barely turned. "We need to talk." Those words have never led anywhere good. I pulled out a chair, already feeling my stomach drop. Lauren sat across from me, would not make eye contact, like she was reading from a script. "I've been feeling trapped," she started, voice flat. "Like I'm living on autopilot, Nathan. I need something for myself, something that makes me feel alive." I leaned forward, trying to understand. "Okay, what are you saying? You want to take a class? Join a book club? Go on a trip? We can work with that." She finally looked at me, and what I saw in her eyes made my blood freeze. There was nothing there. No warmth, no recognition. "I'm going on a date," she said flatly. "With someone from work. Tonight, actually." The words hit like a freight train. I sat there stunned, waiting for a punchline that never came. "A date," I repeated. "You're married, Lauren. We have 2 kids upstairs. What are you talking about?" She had this eerily calm expression. "This isn't about you, Nathan. I just need to feel alive again. Feel wanted. I'll make it up to you later, I promise." Make it up to me. Like she was borrowing the car instead of detonating 18 years of marriage. My hands started shaking. "Lauren, listen carefully. If you walk out that door to meet another man, there's no coming back. I'm warning you. This will change everything. Our marriage, our family, everything we built." She stood up, grabbed her purse. "You're overreacting. I just need space to figure out who I am." I watched her walk to the door. Every step felt like a knife twisting. Part of me wanted to block her path, shake sense into her, but I was frozen. Just sat there gripping the table until my knuckles went white. The door closed with a soft click. House went silent except for my breathing and the kitchen clock ticking. That's when I knew. The woman I married was gone, and the fight for everything I built was just beginning. I did not sleep even 1 minute that entire night. Could not. Sat alone in my home office with all the lights turned off, just staring blankly at the wall, trying desperately to process what had just happened to my life. My brain kept replaying that kitchen conversation on an endless loop like some kind of torture device. The cold, mechanical way she delivered her announcement, the complete absence of any emotion in her voice. Like our 18-year marriage was just some mild inconvenience. She was casually stepping around on her way to something she considered better. Tyler came down the stairs around 10 at night, looking for a late snack in the refrigerator. Stood there in his old basketball shorts and a faded t-shirt from some concert, completely illuminated by the harsh refrigerator light in the dark kitchen. "Dad, where's Mom?" he asked from the kitchen doorway, voice extremely careful and measured like he was trying not to set off a bomb. I forced myself to sound completely normal, practiced my most casual tone. "She went out with some friends from her work. Corporate thing. She'll probably be back later tonight or early morning." He nodded slowly, but I could clearly see the doubt and concern creeping into his 16-year-old eyes. He was smart enough, perceptive enough to know something was seriously and fundamentally wrong with our family. Could probably hear the artificial hollowness in my voice despite my best efforts. Okay then. Night, Dad. Good night, son. Love you. When his bedroom door closed upstairs, I sat there frozen for another solid 5 minutes just staring at absolutely nothing. Then I grabbed my laptop from the desk and did something I never once thought I would do in 18 years of marriage. Logged into our joint bank account. The account Lauren and I opened together when we first got married. The one that was supposed to represent mutual trust and equal partnership and shared financial responsibility for our family. Started methodically scrolling back through the transaction history, and my jaw clenched progressively tighter with every single line item I read. $78 dinner charge at some incredibly fancy upscale Italian restaurant downtown I had never even heard the name of before. Wednesday night at 7:30 p.m. when she specifically told me she was working late on a major presentation for her company. 3 separate purchases at Nordstrom in the last month alone, totaling over $600 for designer clothes. Expensive stuff I had definitely never seen her actually wear around our house, or even to work events. A $140 spa visit last Tuesday afternoon, for what the charge description vaguely called a deluxe premium package with massage and full treatment. She absolutely never mentioned visiting any spa to me even once. I kept scrolling backward through the months with increasing horror. 3 solid months of suspicious charges, all individually small enough not to trigger any immediate red flags or alarms in my head. $20 here for premium specialty coffee at places across town. $45 there for boutique purchases I could not identify. $60 for lunch at restaurants in parts of Phoenix she had no business being in during work hours. But taken all together as a pattern, they painted an absolutely crystal clear picture of someone actively planning, carefully preparing, methodically building an entire secret life, while I was stupidly working honest 60-hour weeks at the warehouse, trying to keep our family business competitive in a tough market. She had been planning and executing this betrayal for months, while I was completely and utterly oblivious. The automatic garage door opener hummed mechanically around 2 in the morning. Lauren finally came home, and I heard her expensive heels clicking sharply on our hardwood floors. That distinct click-click-click sound I used to genuinely love hearing when she came home to me. Now it made my skin physically crawl with disgust. She rounded the corner into the dark family room where I was sitting motionless on the couch. She looked completely refreshed, actually happy, genuinely glowing. Hair still perfect despite the late hour, makeup still flawlessly applied, this deeply satisfied smile on her face, like she had just experienced the absolute best night of her entire life. Seeing that expression hurt worse than anything else possibly could. "You're still awake?" she asked with obvious surprise, setting her designer purse down on the kitchen counter, not even bothering to hide her shock that I was waiting up. I stood up from the couch, made absolutely certain to keep substantial physical distance between us, because I genuinely did not trust myself not to completely lose control. "How was your date with another man while you're still legally married to me?" She just shrugged casually, still refusing to look directly at me. "It was fine. Nice, actually. Look, Nathan, I know you're upset right now, but this really isn't about you at all. It's about me finally finding myself again after all these years." "Not about me," I said, my voice rising sharply despite every desperate effort to stay calm and measured. "Lauren, you are my wife. You are the mother of our 2 children who are sleeping upstairs in this house right now. Every single decision you make affects all of us. Every choice has consequences for this entire family." She turned then, and her expression hardened into something I had absolutely never seen on her face before in nearly 2 decades together. "I'm tired of only being Nathan's wife or just the kid's mom. I need to actually be Lauren again. I need to be my own complete person. Do you understand that at all? And who exactly is this guy you need to be yourself with?" I stepped closer, trying desperately to see something, anything recognizable of the woman I married. "What's his name? How long has this actually been going on behind my back?" "Ethan," she said, with this newly defiant edge to her voice, chin raised up high like she was actively daring me to challenge her choices. "His name is Ethan Crawford. He's a sales manager at my company, works in a different department, and he actually listens to what I say, Nathan. He genuinely makes me feel seen and heard and valued as a person. He asks me real questions about what I actually want in life, what I think about things, what I dream about for my future. Ethan." So now the faceless ghost destroying my marriage had an actual real name. A tangible person actively stealing my wife away. "How long has this been going on?" I asked very quietly, the burning anger crystallizing into something much colder and harder. She hesitated for just a fraction of a second, the first crack in her confident facade. A few months now. Started back in February, maybe early March. It was honestly just friendly conversations at first, just talking casually in the office break room about random work stuff, but then it developed into something more. A few months. The words came out of my mouth like gravel and broken glass. The sheer magnitude of the betrayal hit me like a devastating physical blow directly to my chest. You've been lying straight to my face for 6 entire months, coming home every single night, kissing me goodnight, having family dinners with our children, helping with homework, and the entire time you've been actively building a romantic relationship with another man behind my back. Lauren grabbed her expensive purse and headed determinedly for the staircase. I'm absolutely not discussing this tonight. It's extremely late and I'm completely exhausted. We can talk about this tomorrow when you've actually calmed down and can be rational. I watched her walk confidently away from me, each step up those stairs twisting the knife blade deeper and deeper into my chest. But when that master bedroom door closed firmly upstairs, when I heard the lock click into place, something fundamental and irreversible shifted deep inside me. The raw pain started rapidly crystallizing into something completely different, something much harder and more focused and infinitely more dangerous. Pure determination. She genuinely wanted to play destructive games with our family. She had absolutely no idea whatsoever who she was actually playing against. Next morning, I called my brother Jake, before I even poured my first desperate cup from the coffee maker. He answered groggily on the third ring, voice rough with sleep. This better be incredibly good, little brother. It's 6 in the morning. Lauren's having an affair, I said flatly without any preamble. I need your help immediately. I need to protect myself and our kids from what's coming. Complete silence for about 3 seconds. Then Jake's voice came back sharp and completely alert. Give me exactly 30 minutes. Meet me at the griddle on Camelback. We need to talk face to face right now. I met him at the diner 30 minutes later, still wearing yesterday's rumpled clothes. He was already waiting in a booth in the very back when I walked in, 2 large cups of black coffee already sitting on the table. My older brother by 4 years, always been the calm, level-headed one in our family. Successful electrical contracting business he built from absolutely nothing, just like I built mine. Seen his fair share of life brutally kicking people directly in the teeth, I slid into the booth across from him, and he immediately pushed one of the steaming coffees toward me. You look like hell warmed over and served cold, Jake said bluntly, studying my exhausted face carefully. Feels significantly worse than that. I took a long, burning drink of the coffee, scalded my tongue badly, but I honestly did not care even slightly. Tell me absolutely everything. Don't leave out a single detail. I laid the entire situation out completely. Lauren's cold announcement, the date, the eerily mechanical way she delivered the news like she was discussing weekend plans. The bank statements I discovered showing months and months of hidden expenses I never knew existed. This Ethan Crawford guy from her office sales department. The 6 months of continuous lies directly to my face. Jake's jaw tightened progressively with every single detail I shared. When I finally finished the whole story, he sat back hard against the booth and shook his head in pure disgust. 18 years, he said, genuine disgust thick in his normally measured voice. She casually throws away 18 years of marriage and family for some random guy from her office. Unfreaking believable. Absolutely unbelievable. I honestly don't even know what to do here, I admitted, feeling completely lost. Part of me desperately wants to believe this is just temporary insanity, that she'll wake up tomorrow morning and suddenly realize what she's actually doing to our family. Part of me knows deep down that's never going to happen. Listen to me very carefully right now. Jake leaned forward intently across the table, voice dropping low and serious. You need a lawyer. Right now. Today. This morning if possible. I know someone excellent, Rebecca Walsh. She handled an extremely nasty custody case for one of my electrical contractor buddies a few years back. Woman is tough as absolute nails, does not mess around or take prisoners, and she will fiercely protect you and those kids. But what about Lauren? I asked, still clinging to some stupid hope. What if I can somehow still fix this mess? Jake's expression hardened into something I had only seen maybe 3 times in our entire lives together. Brother, I'm going to be completely straight with you right now. The woman you actually married would not have done this to you or your family. Would not have looked you directly in the eye and calmly told you she was going on a romantic date with another man. Would not have stolen money from your joint account to fund an affair. Would not have spent 6 months systematically lying to your face. Whatever Lauren has become, she is clearly not thinking about you or those kids anymore. You absolutely need to accept that harsh reality and immediately start protecting what actually matters. His words hurt like physical violence because they were absolutely and undeniably true. I could feel the truth of it deep in my gut. This was definitely not something couples counseling or a romantic vacation was going to magically fix. Here's exactly what you do starting right now, Jake continued, switching into pure strategic business mode. Document absolutely everything you can possibly find. Print out all those bank statements. Save every single text message, every email, every receipt you can locate. Check detailed phone records if you can access them through your carrier. Her schedule, her movements, her locations, everything. But here's the absolutely critical part, little brother. Do not let her know what you're doing. No confrontations, no threats, no telling her you're building a legal case. Stay completely quiet. Stay calm and collected. Gather everything you need systematically. Get your legal situation sorted out properly, and when the time finally comes, you hit her with absolutely everything all at once. That sounds really cold. It's strategic, Jake corrected me firmly. She already showed you exactly who she is as a person. Now you need to believe her. She's not playing fair at all. You cannot afford to either. This is about your kids now. About making absolutely sure Tyler and Sophie have stability and a safe home. After breakfast, I sat alone in my truck in the parking lot for a solid 10 minutes just thinking, staring at other random people going about their completely normal Tuesday morning lives, getting coffee, heading to work, totally unaware that my entire world had just violently collapsed. Finally, I pulled out my phone and dialed Rebecca Walsh's number. She answered professionally on the second ring. Rebecca Walsh speaking. Ms. Walsh, my name is Nathan Parker. My brother Jake Nichols gave me your contact information. I desperately need help. I need to file for divorce. Tell me what's going on with your situation, she said, voice professional, but genuinely not unkind. Not judgmental at all. Just ready to listen and help. I explained the whole nightmare situation again. Lauren's affair with Ethan Crawford, the financial irregularities I had already discovered, my urgent need to protect Tyler and Sophie from the inevitable fallout. I can definitely help you, Rebecca said, without even a second of hesitation. But I'm going to need absolutely everything you have access to. Complete bank records, any evidence of the affair you can possibly find, her detailed work schedule, phone records if possible, all credit card statements. The more solid information you give me, the stronger case we can build and the better we can protect your children. When can we possibly meet? This afternoon at 2 works for me. I'll text you my office address right now. As I drove to the warehouse to try accomplishing some actual productive work, something fundamental changed permanently inside me. The raw pain was definitely still there, sharp and terrible and completely real. But underneath the pain was something much harder, much sharper, infinitely more focused and dangerous. An absolute determination to protect my children and everything I had spent 2 full decades building from nothing. Lauren wanted to play destructive games with our family and our lives. She was about to learn the hard way that I absolutely did not play to lose. I spent the next week becoming someone I never once thought I would be. Obsessive, calculating, methodical, cold. Started with printing out every single bank statement going back a full 6 months. Highlighted every suspicious charge, every unexplained withdrawal, every transaction that did not make sense. The pattern became clear as day once you actually knew what to look for. Then I systematically checked our detailed phone records through our carrier's online portal. Found literally hundreds of text messages to a number I absolutely did not recognize. Called it from a cheap burner phone I picked up at a random gas station. Ethan Crawford answered. I hung up immediately without saying a single word. Installed a doorbell camera with cloud recording capability. Told Lauren it was purely for home security after several break-ins in our neighborhood, making the local news. She did not even question it for a second. 3 days later, the camera caught her leaving the house at noon on a Wednesday, when she had specifically told me she was working from home on a major project. I checked our shared location tracking app, something we had set up years ago for family emergencies and kid pickups. She was at a hotel in Tempe. My hands physically shook as I took screenshot after screenshot of everything. Called our credit card company directly. Requested detailed statements for the last 6 months. Found 7 separate hotel charges over the past 2 months alone, all on days she had claimed to be working late or visiting her sister across town. Each piece of evidence felt like another devastating punch directly to my gut. But I kept digging deeper and deeper. Had to know absolutely everything. Did some checking through LinkedIn and mutual professional connections. Found out Ethan Crawford was 31 years old, single, worked in sales at her company. Guy had a developing reputation in their industry. Ambitious to a fault, not particularly ethical in his business dealings, known for using people strategically to get ahead professionally. Then something completely unexpected happened. Got a Facebook message from Michelle Torres, one of Lauren's longtime friends from college. Nathan, I really don't know if I should be telling you this, but Lauren's been talking about Ethan for months now. Like months. She told me directly that you were boring, that she deserved so much better, that she was wasting her life. I can't stay quiet anymore watching this happen. Your kids don't deserve this at all. I immediately asked if she would be willing to document what Lauren had actually told her. Michelle agreed without any hesitation. She's been literally bragging about it, Michelle explained, acting like it's some amazing epic romance. I tried talking sense into her, but she completely blocked me on everything. I'll help however I possibly can. The final piece came from the most unexpected source. Got a call from a number I absolutely did not recognize. Mr. Parker, my name is Andrea Crawford. I'm Ethan's ex-wife. My heart rate immediately spiked hard. Mrs. Crawford, what can I do for you? I know exactly what your wife and my ex-husband have been up to, Andrea said, controlled anger extremely tight in her voice. And I think you should know this isn't Ethan's first affair at all. Not even close. He has a documented pattern. Specifically targets older married women in corporate settings, uses them strategically for their professional connections and contacts, then moves on immediately when he's gotten everything he needs from them. Would you be willing to share what you know? Absolutely I will, Andrea said firmly. Ethan completely destroyed my family and my life. If I can help prevent him from doing the exact same thing to yours, I absolutely will. I have texts, emails, detailed proof of his entire pattern. Your wife isn't special to him at all. She's just another convenient target. After hanging up, I immediately called Rebecca Walsh again with the update. We have Ethan Crawford's ex-wife willing to testify, I said. She has solid proof Lauren's just one target in a documented pattern. Rebecca actually laughed with genuine satisfaction in her voice. Nathan, your wife just handed us the entire case on a silver platter. Between Michelle, Andrea, the financial records, and her own carelessness, she doesn't have any ground to stand on. That evening, Rebecca and I met at her office in North Scottsdale. Modern building, all glass and steel, professional and intimidating. Exactly what I needed. She carefully reviewed everything I had brought. The printed bank statements, detailed phone records, hotel charges, doorbell camera footage, Michelle's written testimony, Andrea Crawford's contact information. After going through every piece methodically, she looked up with this expression of pure professional satisfaction. Your wife's lawyer is going to have a very bad day, she said. This is textbook infidelity plus financial misconduct. We can absolutely argue fraud if you want to pursue that route. What about Tyler and Sophie? I asked. Tyler's 16, Sophie's 11. I want primary custody. Rebecca nodded, taking detailed notes. With this evidence, you have an extremely strong case. Your wife demonstrated poor judgment and complete disregard for your family's well-being. We'll file for temporary custody immediately, plus an injunction preventing her from accessing joint accounts or making major financial decisions without court approval. How long does this process take? If she contests it hard, could be 6 months to a year. But given everything you've shown me, I honestly don't think she'll have much ground to stand on. Rebecca leaned back. Here's the plan. We file this week. Sheriff serves her with papers at work, probably midday Wednesday. It'll be public, and that's the entire point. We want her to understand immediately that she's no longer in control of this situation. Sounds good to me. One thing you need to be prepared for. Rebecca's tone turned serious. She's going to lash out hard. Women like your wife, when they realize they've been caught and lose control, they get desperate. She'll try to paint you as the villain. Abusive, controlling, whatever narrative she thinks will work. You need to meticulously document everything from this point forward. Every conversation, every text, every interaction. You understand? I understand completely. Do you have somewhere safe for the kids to stay for a few days? After she gets served? Rebecca asked. Things could get extremely ugly. I thought of Jake's place. They can stay with my brother if needed. Good. Rebecca stood up, extending her hand. I'll have the papers ready by tomorrow morning. You're doing the right thing, Nathan. Your children are genuinely lucky to have a father willing to fight for them. Leaving her office, I felt something I had not felt in weeks. Not hope for my marriage. That was completely dead and buried. But real hope that I could salvage something meaningful from the wreckage. Hope that Tyler and Sophie would come out of this okay, eventually. That evening, I sat down with Tyler in my home office. At 16, he deserved to know what was coming. Dad, what's going on? He asked, reading the gravity of the situation. I took a deep breath. Your mother and I are getting divorced. I'm filing papers this week. His face went pale. Is it because of her date thing? So he knew more than I thought. Yes, but it's more than just that. A lot more. I'm fighting for custody of you and Sophie. I need you to trust me. I'm doing this to protect you both. Tyler was silent for a long moment. Then he looked at me with this expression that broke something deep inside me. I want to stay with you, he said. Whatever happens, I want to stay with you. I'm going to make absolutely sure that happens. The sheriff served Lauren with papers at work on a Thursday afternoon. I was not there to see it, but Jake's buddy who worked in the same building told me about it later. She came out of her private office pale as a ghost, clutching the manila envelope like it might explode. She stormed through the front door at 6, papers in hand, face twisted with rage. What the hell is this? Lauren screamed, slamming the divorce papers on the kitchen counter where I was helping Sophie with math homework. Sophie, go to your room, sweetheart, I said calmly. My daughter looked between us with fear in her eyes, but she obeyed. When she was upstairs, I turned to Lauren. It's exactly what it says. I'm filing for divorce and primary custody. You can't do this, her voice hit a shriek. You can't take my children from me. I'm not taking them, I said evenly. You abandoned them when you decided Ethan Crawford was more important than your family. Lauren's face flushed. This is about control. You've always been controlling, Nathan. Always needing to know where I am, what I'm doing. I pulled out my phone, opened the folder of evidence. Bank statements, hotel receipts, doorbell footage, phone records. This is about 18 years of marriage that you threw away for a 31-year-old guy who's using you for business contacts, I said. Did you really think Ethan cared about you? Or did you just not care that he was playing you? Her eyes widened, seeing the evidence. You've been spying on me. You invaded my privacy. You stole $14,000 from our joint account, I shot back. You've been lying for 6 months. You have no right to talk to me about privacy. Lauren grabbed the counter. Nathan, please, we can fix this. I made a mistake, but we can work through it. No, I said firmly. You don't get to play victim now. You made your decision. Now live with the consequences. She tried softening her voice. Think about the children. Tyler and Sophie need their mother. I am thinking about the children, I replied. That's why I'm making sure they have a stable parent. Lauren's expression shifted to something ugly. You're going to regret this. I'll tell everyone what you've done. Go ahead, I said. I have 18 years of being a good husband and father. You have 6 months of hotel receipts and lies. Let's see who people believe. She grabbed her purse and stormed out. 2 days after Lauren was served, she exploded on Facebook. Woke up Saturday morning to dozens of notifications. After 18 years of marriage, I've finally found the courage to speak my truth. I've endured years of emotional manipulation and control. My husband isolated me from friends, monitored my every move. I stayed for my children, but I can't anymore. The post had over 200 reactions. My phone rang. Jake, have you seen this garbage? Looking at it now. At least screenshot everything. Your lawyer can use it. Then something unexpected happened. A comment from Michelle Torres. Lauren, this doesn't add up. Nathan's been supportive. Maybe handle this privately. Within minutes, the comment was deleted, and Michelle was blocked. Michelle called. Nathan, I can't stay silent. Lauren's been bragging about Ethan for months. This victim act is garbage. Would you testify? Yes. Your kids don't deserve this. Andrea Crawford called that afternoon. I've been following what's happening. Lauren's being coached by Ethan. It's his playbook. I'll testify about it. I forwarded everything to Rebecca. This is gold, Rebecca said. Between Michelle, Andrea, the financial records, and her social media meltdown, she doesn't stand a chance. The courtroom was packed on the day of the final hearing. Felt like half of Scottsdale showed up to watch. Lauren sat at the defendant's table with her lawyer, some young guy fresh out of law school who looked like he desperately wished he were anywhere else on earth. Rebecca sat beside me at our table, her folder absolutely stuffed with evidence, expression completely confident and ready. The judge, a woman in her 60s named Patricia Morrison, with sharp eyes and zero tolerance for nonsense, carefully reviewed the thick case file as we all waited in tense silence. Finally, she looked up over her reading glasses. This court will hear testimony on custody and division of assets in the matter of Parker versus Parker, Judge Morrison said in a voice that commanded immediate attention. Ms. Walsh, you may begin your opening. Rebecca stood up smoothly, immediately commanding the entire room with her presence. Your Honor, this case is extremely straightforward. Mr. Parker has been a devoted father and husband for 18 years. The evidence will conclusively show that Mrs. Parker carried on an extramarital affair, committed financial fraud by stealing $14,000 from joint marital accounts, and demonstrated a clear pattern of deceit and poor judgment that makes her unfit for primary custody of minor children. She methodically presented everything we had compiled: the printed bank statements with highlighted charges, hotel receipts showing repeated visits, detailed phone records proving hundreds of communications, doorbell camera footage showing her leaving when she claimed to be home working. Michelle Torres took the stand first, sworn in and looking nervous but determined. "Mrs. Torres, how do you know the defendant?" Rebecca asked professionally. "Lauren and I have been close friends for 12 years, Michelle said clearly. "We met through our kids' school activities. She told me about Ethan months ago, back in March or April. She bragged about the affair openly, said Nathan was boring and predictable, that she deserved excitement and passion in her life. She showed absolutely no remorse whatsoever about what she was doing to her family." Lauren's young lawyer tried objecting on hearsay grounds, but Judge Morrison overruled him with a sharp look. Andrea Crawford testified next, describing in precise detail Ethan's documented pattern of targeting married women in corporate settings, using them strategically for their professional connections and business contacts, then discarding them immediately once he had extracted everything useful. "I have proof he's been asking Mrs. Parker specific questions about her husband's automotive industry contacts and client lists to benefit his own career advancement," Andrea said firmly. "Text messages where he coaches her on how to get information from Nathan. She's not his first victim, and she won't be his last. This is how he operates." Then Tyler took the stand. My 16-year-old son, looking nervous, but speaking in a steady voice that was mature far beyond his years. "Tyler, can you tell the court how your mother's behavior has affected you and your sister?" Rebecca asked gently, voice kind. "She stopped being present with us," Tyler said, looking directly at the judge. "Always on her phone texting someone, always going out at weird hours, always distracted when we tried talking to her. My dad's been the one helping with homework every night, cooking dinner, making sure Sophie and I were okay, signing permission slips, going to parent-teacher conferences. I want to live with him. Sophie wants to live with him too, but she's too young to testify." I watched Lauren's face crumble as her own son spoke those words. Felt no satisfaction or victory, only deep sadness for what she had willingly destroyed with her own choices. Lauren's lawyer tried desperately painting her as a victim of a controlling husband in his questioning, but it fell completely flat. When Lauren finally took the stand herself, looking small and defensive, Rebecca destroyed her credibility with surgical precision. "Mrs. Parker, you stated in your very public social media post that your husband was controlling and monitored your every move, yet you had completely free access to all bank accounts at all times, correct?" "Yes, but I felt—" "Yes or no, Mrs. Parker, you had full access." "Yes, and you used that unrestricted access to steal $14,000 over 4 months to fund hotels and dinners with your affair partner." Lauren's face flushed bright red. "I wasn't stealing anything. I was protecting myself financially in case—" "Protecting yourself by funding an extramarital affair with marital funds." Rebecca's voice was sharp as a knife. "No further questions, Your Honor." Judge Morrison took a short recess to review all the evidence and returned 30 minutes later with her final decision written out. "I've carefully reviewed all evidence and testimony presented," she said in that commanding voice. "Mrs. Parker's actions demonstrate profound lack of judgment and complete disregard for her children's well-being and family stability. Mr. Parker is hereby granted primary physical custody of both minor children. Mrs. Parker will have supervised visits every other weekend, to be reviewed in 6 months. Furthermore, Mrs. Parker is ordered to return the full $14,000 she withdrew, without spousal consent, plus court costs, and a substantial portion of Mr. Parker's legal fees, totaling approximately $32,000. The judge's gavel came down with a sharp crack that echoed through the courtroom. It was over. Lauren sat completely frozen at her table, her young lawyer whispering urgently in her ear about appeals. I stood up, shook Rebecca's hand firmly, and walked out of that courtroom with my head held high. Outside in the hallway, Tyler and Sophie were waiting with Jake, who had taken them to get food during the proceedings. Sophie immediately ran to me at full speed, and I scooped her up into my arms. "Is it over, Daddy?" she asked, her small voice worried. "Yes, sweetheart, it's completely over. We're going home now." 8 months after the divorce was officially finalized, our new life finally found its natural rhythm again. Tyler was absolutely thriving in his junior year of high school, maintaining a 3.8 GPA and seriously talking about computer science programs at ASU or maybe UC Berkeley if he could get enough scholarship money. Sophie had joined the competitive soccer team at her school and was making tons of new friends, her natural confidence coming back strong. The house felt genuinely lighter somehow, Like we could all finally breathe properly again after being underwater. Like a massive weight had been physically lifted off all three of us. I sold the big Scottsdale house with all its painful memories and bought a smaller but comfortable place in North Phoenix with a massive backyard perfect for barbecues and a pool the kids loved. Tyler and Sophie actually helped me pick it out, walked through every room giving their opinions. It felt like genuinely ours in a way the old showcase house never really did. The automotive distribution business was somehow doing better than it ever had. Turns out when you are not emotionally and mentally destroyed by your spouse's ongoing betrayal, you can actually focus properly on work. I landed 2 major supply contracts with national chains, hired 3 excellent new warehouse employees, and revenue was up almost 18% year over year. Lauren's court-mandated supervised visits were extremely awkward at first. She would show up to the supervised visitation center looking defeated and diminished in a way she never had before. Quiet, almost meek, the complete opposite of the confident woman who had walked out on me. Ethan Crawford had predictably left her exactly 2 months after the divorce was officially finalized. Dropped her immediately once she lost access to my business contacts and connections. Exactly precisely as Andrea had predicted would happen. One Saturday afternoon after dropping the kids off, Lauren nervously asked if she could speak with me privately for a minute. "What is it?" I asked, keeping my tone carefully neutral. "I wanted to say I'm truly sorry," Lauren said, eyes visibly red from recent crying. "For absolutely everything. I completely destroyed our family because I was selfish and stupid and chasing some fantasy. I don't expect you to forgive me or anything like that, but I wanted you to know I genuinely regret all of it. Every single decision." I studied her carefully for a long moment. The intense anger that had sustained me through the absolute worst of the divorce proceedings was completely gone now, replaced by something much closer to genuine pity. "I appreciate you saying that," I said finally, meaning it, "but it doesn't change anything that happened. You made your choices, and now we all have to live with the consequences of those choices." "I know that," she whispered. "Can I ask just one thing? Can I possibly spend more time with the kids? I really want to rebuild that relationship with Tyler and Sophie. I want to be their mom again." I thought carefully about Tyler and Sophie, about their fundamental right to have a relationship with their mother, if she was genuinely willing to put in the hard work required. If you can prove to the court you're actually stable now, real full-time employment, consistent responsible behavior, no more Ethans or anyone remotely like him, then we can potentially talk about modifying the custody agreement, I said. But it's completely up to you to earn that trust back. Nobody's going to just hand it to you. Lauren nodded quickly, tears streaming down her face freely. "Thank you, Nathan. I promise I'll do better. I swear I will." As she walked away toward her car, I felt something genuinely unexpected. Not any hope for us as a couple, that ship had permanently sailed and sunk, but real hope for her to potentially become someone our children could actually respect again someday. Guys, we are so close to hit 100,000 subscribers on this channel. If you are not subscribed to the channel, please consider subscribing. It really helps hit that 100,000 mark. Thanks for making this dream come true.